Imagine that you are in the kindergarten and your friends mock you for believing that 3 plus 4 equals 7. Everybody knows that 3 plus 4 equals 8. Then imagine going to your teacher for help and hearing her say too that 3 plus 4 equals 8. Would you not go home and ask yourself that perhaps there was something wrong with the way you were thinking? Even the strongest man would start to waver in his convictions.
64,000 is the median number of words per book. Average person reads about 200 words per minute. Simple math will tell us that is one book in 320 minutes. To accomplish this in 7 days, numbers say you would have to read for 45 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, comment, and share. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Book of the Week series. Every week as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world. My name is Igor S.F. Walker. Today, we look at the Book of Why, the new science of cause and effect by Jude Pearl and Jada Mackenzie. So how about you slow down and relax? Reduce all that noise for just a bit. Make that choice and decide to listen. In this video, we look at a book that reminds us, in one pithy phrase, that you are smarter than your data. Data do not understand cause and effect. Humans do. Stick around till the end. I will share with you some tools I do have and use that will help you tremendously in this game of life. Discover a way to find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and all of your behavior. I will share some tools to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. Much of this data-centric history still haunts us today. We live in an era that presumes big data to be the solution to all of our problems. Courses in data science are proliferating in our universities, and jobs for data scientists are lucrative in the companies that participate in the data economy. But I hope with this book to convince you that data are profoundly dumb. Data can tell you that the people who took a medicine recovered faster than those who did not take it. But they cannot tell you why. Maybe those who took the medicine did so just because they could afford it. Maybe they would have recovered just as fast without it. Over and over again in science and in business, we see such situations where mere data simply aren't enough. The calculus of causation consists of two languages: causal diagrams to express what we know, and symbolic language resembling algebra to express what we want to know. The causal diagrams are simply dot and arrow pictures that summarize our existing scientific knowledge. Again, classical statistics only summarize data. So it does not provide even a language for asking that question. Causal inference provides notation and, more importantly, offers a solution. This algorithmization of counterfactuals is another gem uncovered by the Causal Revolution. Our minds make very reliable and reproducible judgments all the time about what might be or what might have been. Counterfactuals are the building blocks of our behavior, as well as of scientific thought. The ability to reflect on one's past actions and envision alternative scenarios is the basis of free will and of social responsibility. The algorithmization of counterfactuals invites thinking machines to benefit from this, until now, uniquely human way of thinking about the world. Emphasis on language, emphasis, comes from the deep conviction that language shapes our thoughts. You cannot answer a question that you cannot ask, and you cannot ask a question that you have no words for. All that a deep learning program can actually do, fit a function to data. On the other hand, if she possesses a model of how the drug operated, and this causal structure remained intact in the new location, then the estimate she obtained in training would actually still remain valid. It could be applied to the new data to generate a new population-specific function. David Lewis, a philosopher at Princeton University, who died in 2001, pointed out that Hugh really gave two definitions, not one. The first of regularity, i.e. the cause is regularly followed by the effect. And the second of the counterfactual, if the first object had not been ... While philosophers and scientists most paid attention to the regularity definition, Lewis argued that the counterfactual definition aligns more closely with human intuition. We think of a cause as something that makes a difference, and the difference it makes must be a difference from what would have happened without it. Answering the question, what if things had been different, allows us to learn from history and from experience of others, something that no other species appears to do. The position of counterfactuals at the top of the ladder of causation explains why I place such emphasis on them as in the moment of evolution in human consciousness. In the 1950s, Alan Turing asked what it would mean for a computer to think like a human. He suggested a practical test, which he called the imitation game, what every AI researcher since then has called the Turing test. For all practical purposes, a computer could be called a thinking machine if an ordinary human communicating with the computer could not tell if they were talking to a human or to a computer. Turing was very confident that this was within the realm of feasibility. One major contribution of AI to the study of cognition has been the paradigm representation first, acquisition second. Often the quest for a good representation has led to insight into how the knowledge ought to be acquired, be it from data or from programming. Probabilistic causality has always foundered on the block of confinement. Every time the adherents of probabilistic causation try to patch up the ship with the new hull, the boat runs into the same rock and creates another leak. Once you misrepresent probability rising in the language of conditional probabilities, no amount of probabilistic patching will get you to the next ladder. As strange as it may sound, the notion of probability rising cannot be expressed in terms of probabilities. The main point is this: While probabilities encode our beliefs, our beliefs about the static world, causality tells us whether and how probabilities do change when the world changes, be it by intervention or by an act of imagination. The law of regression applies even when we correlate two different quantities, like height and IQ. If you plot one quantity against the other in a scattered plot and scale these two axes properly, then the slope of the best fit line always enjoys the same properties. It equals 1 only when one quantity will predict the other one precisely. It is also always 0 whenever the prediction is no better than a random guess. R.A. Fisher, the undisputed high priest of statistics in the generation after Galton and Pearson, described the difference succinctly. In 1925, he wrote, "Statistics may be regarded as the study of methods of the reduction of the data." So pay attention to the words methods, reduction, and data. Causal analysis is empathically not just about data. In causal analysis, we must incorporate some understanding of the process that produces the data. And then we also get something that was not in the data to begin with. Fisher was right about one point. Once you remove causation from statistics, reduction of data is all that is actually left. In many ways, it is a distillation of a scientific method. Textbook description of the scientific method goes something like this: formulate a hypothesis, deduce a testable consequence of the hypothesis, perform an experiment and collect evidence, and then update your beliefs with the new hypothesis. Usually the textbooks deal with simple yes or no tests and updates. The evidence either confirms or refutes the hypothesis. But life and science are never so simple. All evidence comes with a certain amount of uncertainty. Bayes' rule tells us how to perform step 4 in the real world, in the real life. See, if nature is like a genie that answers a question truthfully, but only exactly as it is asked, imagine how much more difficult it is for a scientist or scientists to face adversaries that actually intend to deceive us. The Vatican's objections to Galileo's ideas surely arose out of genuine concern for the social order of the time. The same can be said about Charles Darwin's evolution, Francis Galton's eugenics. However, the cultural shocks that emanate from new scientific findings are eventually settled by cultural regimens that accommodate those findings, not by concealment. A prerequisite for this realignment is that we sort out the science from the culture before opinions become inflamed. Purely an artifact of Bayesian conditioning. A magical transfer of information without causality. Our mind rebels at this possibility. Because from earliest infancy, we have learned to associate correlation with causation. If the car behind us takes all the turns we take, we would think it's following us. Causation. We next think that we are going to the same place, i.e. there's a common cause behind each of our turns. But causeless correlation violates our common sense. Thus, the Monty Hall paradox is just like an optical illusion or a magic trick. It uses our own cognitive machinery to deceive us. In ordinary language, the question why has at least two versions. The first is straightforward. You see an effect and you want to know the cause. Your grandfather is in the hospital and you ask why? How could he have had a heart attack when he seemed so healthy? But there's a second version of the why. The question we ask when we actually want to better understand the connection between a known cause and a known effect. Before long, we start asking the second version of the question, why? What is the mechanism by which citrus fruits prevent scurvy? The word that scientists use for this second type of why question is mediation. Indirect effects, unlike direct effects, have no controlled version because there is no way to disable the direct path by holding some variable constant. But they do have a natural version, the natural indirect effect, NIE, which is defined like NDE using counterfactuals. When I began my journey into causation, I was following the tracks of an anomaly. With Bayesian networks, we had thought machines to think in shades of gray. And this was an important step toward human-like thinking. But we still couldn't teach machines to understand causes and effects. We couldn't explain to a computer why turning the dial on a barometer actually will not cause rain. Nor could we teach it what to expect when one of the riflemen on a firing squad changes his mind and decides not to shoot. Without the ability to envision alternate realities and contrast them with the currently existing reality, the machine cannot pass the mini Turing test. It cannot answer the most basic question that makes us human. Why? Throughout science, business, government, and even sports, the amount of raw data we have about our world is grown at a staggering rate in recent years. The change is perhaps most visible to those of us who actually use the internet and social media. Deep learning works for certain tasks, but it is the antithesis of transparency. Even AlphaGo programmers cannot tell you why the program plays so well. They know from experience that deep metrics have been successful in tasks and computer vision and speech recognition. Nevertheless, our understanding of deep learning is completely in the blind, and it comes with no guarantees. Some people will argue that transparency is not really needed. They do not understand in detail how the human brain works, and yet it runs well. And we forgive our meager understanding. So they argue, why not unleash deep learning systems and create a new kind of intelligence without even understanding how it works? Yes, we forgive our meager understanding how our brain works, but we can still communicate with other humans. We can learn from them. We can instruct them, and we can motivate them in our own native language of cause and effect. We can do that because our brains work the same way. Transparency enables effective communication. Intent is a very important part of personal decision making. Any discussion of intent leads to another major issue for strong AI: free will. The ability to reason about one's own beliefs, intents, and desires has been a major challenge to AI researchers, and it actually defines the notion of agency. Questions such as, can machines have consciousness? Or what makes the software any different from any other ordinary program? Have engaged the best minds of many generations, and I would not pretend to answer them in full. Have we already made machines that think? Can we make machines that think? Will we make machines that think? And should we make machines that think? And finally, the unstated question that lies at the heart of our anxieties: can we make machines that are capable of distinguishing good from evil? The answer to the first question is no. But I believe the answer to all the other questions is yes. Once we do build a moral robot, many apocalyptic visions start to recede into irrelevance. We will be able to learn from our own free will software and how it works, how it manages to hide its secrets from us. Such a thinking machine would be a wonderful companion for our species, and it would truly qualify as AI's first and best gift to humanity. And there you have it, the book of why. Please do help out. It is easy. Simply like this video so more people can enjoy it. Share it too. Do leave a comment, share your thoughts, start a conversation. Subscribe to my channel. Stay up to date. The link to this book is in the description below. Buy it, read, never stop learning, especially learning about yourself and nature. So gift yourself by taking the free humanist test on my website and find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. And if you feel you are ready to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management even further, do check out my Master of Life Awareness program. The links are in the description below. Thank you. Love and respect.